A lot of people, they think that audiation is simply being able to hear something from the outside world and take it internally. And if you ever had that experience of a song stuck in your head, then what you're experiencing is not actually audiation, although it's very similar. It's more of an imitation, like a mental recall. And that's actually part of the process of developing your ability to audiate. But when I talk about audiation, especially as it relates to composers, I'm talking about this ability to create internally and to know what you're creating and to be able to actually notate that on a musical staff system. So it's this awareness of what you're actually writing, which involves a lot of ear training, and then also the ability to dissect the independent lines in your head. Because if you try and imagine a major chord, just try and imagine one. Just try and hear the entire quality of that chord. More than likely, you would have to do one of two things. You'd either have to start by arpeggiating it, so you'd hear something like, and you'd have to hear each note individually, so you hold out the first one, then you hold out the middle one, and then you add the top note, and then you can kind of hear everything all together. Or you just take a guess and you try and hear the general texture, all three notes together. Now, when I play it on the piano, you can probably separate the bottom and the top note if you're a little more advanced. If you haven't done this too much, then maybe you won't be able to hear the middle note. So the middle note tends to get hidden. With audiation, it's more difficult because in the early stages of audiation, what happens is we don't have this clear ability to differentiate the different sounds. We just have more of an impression of a sound. We might hear clearly a melody that we could even notate, and then that melody might have this general quality of sound supporting it. And so what I teach people to do is actually improve their ability to hear the inner notes in a musical work. So when we audiate, I teach you to kind of hear what's going on internally. And that's a process that is really step by step. It's really incremental, and it takes a lot of practice to get it right. So one of the things that you can do is you start with a drone. So you get that drum going, and you hear it. And you try and hear it on your primary instrument or the piano. Either one's fine. What matters is that if you use your primary instrument, that's the sound that you're used to. So that's one that's going to be easier for you to actually hear. If you don't use your primary instrument, then it'll be a different sound, maybe one that you're not as familiar with. So I recommend if you're not going to use your primary instrument, you stick to the piano for that reason. So if you play the C on the piano, and then you try and replicate that sound, or you play that C, concert C, on your instrument, and then you try and replicate the sound, the goal at first is to just get as much detail into that sound as possible. And you can actually do this for a long time and gradually increase your ability to hear it more clearly. The goal with audiation is to reach a point where you can hear almost concert quality sound. And a lot of times when I talk to people that have developed this ability, they start by hearing it in the front of their head. And there's almost like a wall there that they're trying to get past. And then eventually, when they hear it really clearly, sometimes they'll have moments where they go from the front, they'll hear it in the back of their head, where it's like the music's coming almost from behind you. And that's when it tends to be the most clear. The absolute clearest time is when you shut your eyes and you reach that point right between being awake and being asleep, or when you're actually asleep and you're dreaming. That would probably be the greatest quality because it sounds real. The problem with these states is that you can't do much in those states because the moment you try and notate something or memorize something, you come out of that state because now you're putting effort into the process. So you want to develop proficiency in audiation just like you would study an instrument. And it takes a long time to develop your ability to hear things internally. But when you do, the external musical world changes. You start to hear parts that were never there before. You are able to hear things that before you'll listen to your music and it'll sound different to you. Even in your own compositions, if you're a composer, you'll be able to hear more clearly potentially the issues that an audience might hear with your composition. And so all these things are really great benefits of audiation. It also develops your spatial reasoning. It's also just a great skill to be able to have where you can just shut your eyes and play some original music that you're creating. And so we work on these exercises so that we can improve that ability to audiate clear. So when you're trying to audiate initially, you need to follow the right process. I always talk about process. And you need to develop the techniques for your practice. And then the nice thing about audiation, which is a little different from playing an instrument, is that once you develop kind of a baseline ability to audiate, you start to naturally do it all the time. And so in a way, you're reinforcing those concepts and you don't actually have to sit down and practice. The other nice thing about audiation is you can do it anywhere. I don't recommend doing it while driving, but you may have melodies come to you while you're driving. Just make sure you focus on the road. But the important thing is there's a process and there's certain exercises and there's certain techniques that will help you progress faster. So for myself, I developed a very basic level of audiation after a couple years. I was in my undergraduate program. By the time I entered my graduate program, I was definitely using it as a tool to pick out individual sections and to be able to just rewrite something quickly. And people would see me compose. They used to say, well, how did you, they point out a section that they thought was problematic. And I always knew deep down, it's like, yeah, I know that's problematic, but I didn't want to go back and fix it. But when somebody else says, I don't know what's wrong here, but there's something about this section I didn't like, I'm like, okay. So I would sit there and with isolated sections, I'd think through what it sounds like, and then I'd think through what I wanted it to sound like, and then I would go to the piano, because I didn't have the perfect ear, but then I'd go to the piano and figure out what I was hearing. And at first, what I was hearing, or what I ended up playing on the piano and what I was hearing were slightly different, but they were close enough. With practice, I got better at identifying exactly what I was hearing and then fixing it in the actual score. So audiation is one of these skills that can help you improve your composition, your arranging, anything else that you do. Even if you're a performer or a conductor, just being able to hear that score internally and kind of make decisions on the fly is really important. So the point here and what I'm trying to express is that audiation is a lot like practicing your instrument. You need to devote a certain amount of time to it. The nice thing is there are no tools for audiation. It's all in your head. And so you can practice while waiting in line at the DMV, while getting groceries, while waiting for a class to start, while waiting for a meeting. You can just practice throughout the day. But what happens, and this is where I'm going with this, unlike an instrument where if you don't practice, you lose the skill and then you have to practice again to get that skill back up. So if you take 2 or 3 weeks off from playing the French horn, you're going to lose some of your endurance. With audiation, you don't ever really take days off because you don't have to. You can do it even for 5-10 minutes a day. And one of the things that I always recommend with my students is to use a variation of one of the drone exercises I give them. The most basic one is, here's a drone, hear it on your own primary instrument or hear it on the piano. And you just try and increase the quality of it. But then as you get more advanced, there's other drone exercises as well that will further help develop your audiation skill. And the reason I bring up my experiences with audiation earlier when I was younger is to show you that from my undergraduate to graduate program, I had a basic level. I could use it to spot check compositions and I could slowly improve what I was working on. I think there's a little bit of a myth out there that, Beethoven wrote completely deaf, and that's not really true. Beethoven had his entire life with hearing to learn how to compose internally, to take the music from the outside world and internalize it. And he knew he was going deaf. It's not that Beethoven wrote music when he was deaf. Beethoven knew it was happening, and he had time to prepare for it. Other composers, like Mozart, they can certainly audiate chord progressions and things like that, but the rumor is that Mozart actually had trouble with counterpoint, that he had trouble audiating counterpoint. And we're not talking simple counterpoint exercises, but very complex counterpoint. And that's something that you have to work on. You have to practice. But it goes back to this technique. So if you want to be able to play quickly, if you want to have proficiency and good technique on your instrument, you practice scales, you practice arpeggios, you practice these techniques that create the dexterity you need to be able to play more complex music. It's the same thing with audiation. If you want to improve your ability to audiate, you can't just simply sit there and compose, although that's part of it. You also have to practice techniques that train your brain in a process that eventually becomes a real skill that you can use. And there's various levels of audiation. At one level, when I'm composing, sometimes I'll audiate just a chord. I was working with a student recently where there was about 8 measures missing and wasn't sure how to get from one section to the next. And I gave him a chord progression and he said, well, how did you do that? And I said, audiation. I sat here for a moment, I listened to his piece, and then I heard the progression that would lead smoothly into the next section. And I never tell him what to do, but I gave him a suggestion. And he ran with that, and he thought it was a really great progression. So we'll see if he actually uses it, because I always give suggestions, and then students take that, and it sparks other ideas, and then they come up with things on their own. But it's the point is that I was able to sit there and solve a problem very quickly, because I just sat there. I didn't even have to close my eyes. I just thought about it for a minute. I said, this is the progression you want. And the hardest part was actually figuring out what I was hearing. And, then I was able to just say, okay, these are the chords that I'm hearing. And he played it on the piano and said, yeah, that's actually perfect. So it can be a tool. It can also be something that you use to compose an entire work. It can be something where you just sit back, you relax, and you play through a work you've already written in your mind. And that's extremely useful to figure out flow, interpretation, the articulations you want, the tempo, the phrasing. There's so many things that audiation can help with that notation programs don't do. And especially with AI entering the scene, you need a quicker method of composing that's creative, that's fluid, and that uses your life experiences, your knowledge about music, and your preferences to create something truly unique. If you want to get away from writing, 1-4-5-1 progressions and standard chords, and you want to get away from the diatonic system where everything's just tertian built in thirds or inversions of those thirds, then you really need a more creative process. And that creative process is letting your brain naturally create the music that's already inside you. And that's what I really focus on. There is a composition aspect to the course. It's very basic, but I do teach a process that I actually use when I compose a new work, when I have time. Sometimes I have to write something quickly and I just have to throw that thing on the page. But when I have more time, I like to just let ideas naturally develop over weeks, months. And there's a process for it. And it's one that I find very enjoyable. And it's one that I hope you'll find enjoyable as well. Let me know what you think. Have you been audiating? I'm actually curious about that. I want to know how you experience it. Have you experienced that thing where you'll hear something in the front of your head and it's almost like there's a wall preventing it from going further back, and then sometimes you'll hear a more clear thing in the back of your head? I find that's a very common experience. So let me know if you've experienced that, and looking forward to next time.